Hello Pisces, this is Olivia from DOS Tarot. I'm here to do your reading for July the 20th through the 25th. You have a beautiful layout for your tarot reading. But before we get started at looking at that, the two oracle cards that I pulled, the first one is Acceptance. And you'll understand why it's in this column because that's just the way I laid them. It says, I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. So there's been some kind of change in your life that was probably pretty major. But you are now at this stage in your life realizing that you are learning to accept those because there's some things we just cannot change. You just cannot. And then the second oracle card is the Spirit Box. And it says, trust your talents in changing times. And I feel like this relates to everybody nowadays because there's going to be a lot of changes when it comes to work. A lot of us aren't able to go back to the work we used to do. That business may have shut down, or it wasn't one of those that was essential. Yeah. All right, let's dive into this tarot reading under the Acceptance, which is so strange because I lay these cards out first and then I start shuffling, and these three popped out right away when I was shuffling. The first card talks about the Six of Wands. This is a card of victory, but it's also a card of recognition of a lot of hard work that you've done. And it makes sense because if you've been doing a lot of hard work, it could be work you've done on yourself internally. It could be in relationships, and it could also be with something to do with a job or work. And with that being said, because of this victory, you're also getting the judgment call. And I did pull out the book because I wanted to give you a better definition of this than I've been saying, because to me, it's very important. And it also talks about, in this case, with the judgment, it's a call by God. And it says we may also be awakened to a new relationship with God, with our spirit guides, or with our angels. Judgment can also be a call to spiritual service. Okay? Now listen to this next step. It says we must make some decisions and gain some acceptance about the past. When this is done, we can evolve to a state of completion and rebirth. And when the judgment of man is complete, a new world is created, which the Fool card is where we'll start again. And he'll discover this when he incarnates once again and his journey begins anew. This is the last card in the tarot deck. It's card number 21. And the first card is the Zero, the Fool. I thought, oh my God, that is so beautiful. So beautiful. Anyway, that's me getting all emotional and excited for you. The World card, of course, this talks about every aspect. This is also about recognition. Every one of these cards, recognition for the hard work, recognition for facing your past and coming to a decision, and then also recognition for all the work you've done. So your light must just be shining. You must have a halo above your head right now, Pisces. It's absolutely beautiful. I even don't feel like I should even clarify them, and I might just do one card just to sum it up. But now, for your situation or your person, it's a totally different lookout. Or their card is, trust your talents in changing times, okay? Well, this could also, by the way, sometimes, especially if you're single, these cards could be merged all for you. Or it could be you and it could be your person. And I hate to say it, but it could be the reverse too. So you would know best on that end. But with the Three of Hearts in the reverse, this tells me there has been a lot of hurt and pain and a lot of sorrow and probably a lot of tears. Something very major has happened. But whatever it is, if it does work with you, If this is all one set of cards just for you, that's why you've gotten this Six of Wands, that recognition. You've made it through. It was a battle. It was hard. You lost men. And yeah, the whole town is celebrating you. Beautiful. Or it could be your person. Something's going on with your person. Now the Ace of Wands in reverse. Now this does talk about the lack of creativity. There could be block in projects that you're trying to get done. It's a lack of passion, and that could be for work. It could be for relationships. And then the King of Wands in reverse. This is somebody that's he's not very friendly, and he doesn't like it when things aren't going his way, and he can become very selfish. And I say he because it's a king. I don't switch up the gender on the court cards, they're called. I don't change those up, but you can if you want to. That's your choice. But your person, as you can see, even though they're coming out of something that was very hurtful and probably a near-death situation, and right now they're still healing, and until this gets completely done, which this is on the mend. This is, it's on the mend. It's coming to the end of it. I have a feeling that all of this will turn around too for that person, or if it's for you. On the bottom of the deck. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Lovers in reverse. This could be a Gemini if you're working with somebody that's a Gemini. It also could be just a partner, a business partner perhaps. But it is in reverse. And a reverse just means there's a break. And this could be all work too. This could be a work person, somebody you work with. And there's a break with this person because apparently maybe their job that they had didn't continue, and yet you're finding something else maybe. This business might be shutting down. We don't know. I mean, you know, but I don't. But we can do some clarifying. And like I said, we'll clarify like I normally do. I don't want to... but if I get one good card, I'm passing it and going down. Because this first round... recognition. It's amazing. I've never seen such an amazing layout. It is beautiful. It really is beautiful. I believe this one talks about a spiritual new beginning as well. And I love how it talks about there's a new world. Oh, it's beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and get a clarifier for the Six of Wands. And this is all because you've learned to accept. You accept the things you cannot change. And that is when your whole psyche starts to become balanced. It becomes balanced because you're not fighting, you're not resisting. It just is. It is. It's a flow. It's beautiful. You may have manifested this. I wouldn't be surprised if you know how to manifest, and if you are one that likes to pray and ask the divine, whoever that might be for you, that would happen. Oh my gosh. And you must have gone in hangman mode at once during this period too, because this is where you got your enlightenment from the divine. The halo around the hangman's head is the divine stepping in and giving this person, which is you, Pisces, the ability to be aware. It enhances your consciousness. I would say, you know, Pisces, you are a water sign, and all of the water signs have a lot of psychic ability. But with you, you're more so than the other two. You have a lot of psychic abilities. And And this could be your sun, your moon, or your rising, or it could be Venus. Beautiful. Whew. Okay, let's clarify the judgment. Okay, there had been some anxiety about a situation. I don't know what the situation is. It could have been work. It could have been a relationship. It could have been a situation. But also notice that it's in reverse, which means it's diminishing. You're almost completely done with that anxiety. And there probably is going to be options opening for you too. Because people are going to see you shine. I mean, you're shining even with the Hangman. You've got that. Didn't I talk to you about a halo around your head? You've got a halo here. People are going to see this, and they're going to make offers to you. And if it's about work, or if it's about a relationship, or whatever it's about, people are going to start making offers to you, and you're going to have plenty to choose from. Plenty. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. Now the World. Okay, there was something that you were waiting on, but in the reverse, it tells me that there may just be a delay. Or perhaps you feel like that's never going to happen. It could be one or the other. It could be either a delay, or you're starting to realize you might be accepting that you cannot change everything. Or that you're learning to accept the things that you cannot change. And perhaps there was something that was coming in. Maybe there was a plan between you and another person, or you and another job. Whatever the situation is, it may not happen. And you're okay with that. And the divine is honoring you with that also. The Queen of Swords, now in reverse, this is somebody that has a really sharp tongue. And in reverse, they can be very bitter. They can be hurtful. They do speak their truth. It's a brutal truth. And sometimes they just let it fall out of their mouth without thinking. And it could be hurtful. Or it could have been someone removed you from their life. You may have gotten cut out from someone. Interesting. Whoa, that's a lot. Let's clarify that Three of Hearts, or Three of Swords in reverse. And then we have the Three of Pentacles that popped out. Again, this card here is also a spiritual card. It talks about the Three Pentacles. This is a masonry that has created this artwork. And it's in a monastery. And these pentacles are for sure, they're set in stone. They're permanent. They will never be spent. It's not things you can spend. It's almost like the recognition. The way this is announced is this is the recognition that this work has been done by this person. So again, this could be you, Pisces. The whole reading could be you. So far, it could very well be. This is very spiritual. It's amazing. It's interesting. Very interesting, Pisces. Okay, let's get one more card for the Three of Swords with the Three of Pentacles. There is going to be some kind of communications here too. I don't know if it's coming or going. But there's going to be some kind of communications. I have a feeling it's going to be you communicating to someone. And it's pretty fast. It's fast action. Fast communications. And it could be because of this awakening. It could be because something has awakened you. And now you feel that you need to get your heart back in shape. Whatever hurt, leave the past behind, because you're learning to accept that. And this work here is probably going to be restarted or reconnected. And you're making the communications to someone to let them be aware of that. You might be saying, hey, look, I am good. I'm ready to go. Let's start that project. It could be that. Now, the Ace of Wands in reverse is not good, but it could just end up being temporary. It might not be something, it's not something permanent, that's for sure. Because it talks about creative blocks and things on that nature. And the lack of passion. The lack of the spark of life. Interesting, because the Judgment talks about a rebirth, and you may be going through a rebirth. If this is all about you, you might be at this point where you're in the middle of the rebirth, or will be. And when you're in the middle of the rebirth, you probably are going to feel like this until it completely evolves into birth. Oh my gosh. What? So now there's the Six of Wands in reverse, which means there is no victory. There is no acknowledgement, or you're not being acknowledged for what you're doing. But if you're blocked, you're not doing anything anyway. It almost seems like it's interesting. It's almost like it's mirroring each other, but in a negative way. Is it because you are learning to accept things as they are? And there wasn't no recognition before, but now there is? Like I said, either this or it's just a different situation. I don't know if it's a different I don't know if there's a person here. I don't feel it really. Okay, there is going to be, somebody's going to be having to make some kind of decision. I don't know if it's you or your person, but there is definitely going to have to be some kind of traveling or possibly a move. And it's a big one. And I say that because this wand here that's attached to this wall, this is a plan that has already reached fruition. It's complete. Now, the one that this person is holding in their hand, now this wand is the plan, in the process of making a plan. But you'll see that he has that world globe in his hand. Interesting. Interesting, because this one talks about, this is the last card in the deck, the Judgment card. Oh no, the World card is, I'm sorry. No, it was this one here, the Judgment, that talked about it being a new world. Oh my gosh. Remember I said that, at the end of it, once you're complete with the rebirth, there's going to be a new world. And that's what the Fool is going to step into. Because once we reach the end, we get rebirthed. And the Fool is the 0. And he's going to be on the new earth. Does this have or the new world? Does this have something to do with that? Interesting. Let's clarify. Now, this could just be somebody's energy, but it is the King of Wands in reverse. What is this about? Reciprocity, equal give and take. You give and then you receive. There hasn't been balance before because when he's in reverse, he's out of balance. Let's get the other card. The Queen of Cups. So there's somebody here. Is this your person? Either the King of Wands in reverse or the Queen of Cups in the upright. Is there a connection here between these two people for you, Pisces? Or Pisces, is this your king or is this... There's something about between... Okay, let's look back over here for a minute. Remember I talked about the Three of Wands is usually waiting for something to come in, either a person or cargo or something of deep interest. Well, it's in reverse, so there's either a delay or maybe it's not going to happen. But with the Queen of Swords, and remember I mentioned how she may have cut this situation out. Maybe she was the one that was coming through the Three of Wands and she decided not to, so she's done. So are you telling me that this here is that same? Because if this is the Queen of Cups, this could be her also in this energy, or something triggered her. And the trigger could have been that there was no equality, no give and take in a relationship between the King of Wands and the Queen of Cups. Now, I know that sounds far-fetched, but I don't figure out any other way that this can happen. It's like, because they're in the same line, it tells me that there's some connection here. If this is true, if this is your person on this side, and they were the Queen of Cups, and they expected equality, in a relationship, in every manner, money, work, home, things that need to be done. And if this is you, Pisces, in a different energy here, you could have not been fulfilling for this person, and she may have cut you out. But it doesn't matter at this point. And the reason why it does probably for your person, yes, it does. But for you, Pisces, whatever it was destiny. It was supposed to happen that way. It was like the two of you, if you came together, you learned lessons from one another, and now that's done. And with that being done, that's why the world turns in your favor. Wow. So even though you were hurt by this cut, it was destiny. You don't have a choice. And that's how the divine works. It's always, this is my favorite saying. I always say, it's sad, but it's also very beautiful. And then we have the Lovers in reverse. This could have very well have been a piece of the puzzle that there was a break. And it was supposed to happen. Because if you think about it, the Lovers are also a divine, bringing two people together. Divine brings two people together. And it's supposed to be. But in reverse, there's a break. They're not seeing eye to eye. They're probably never going to be back together for one reason or another. But it's supposed to be that way. Oh my, all right, let's clarify the Lovers. Yeah. The Knight of Swords in reverse. This is somebody that's coming in with some bad news. Again, the Queen of Swords in reverse is also bad news, cutting something out. And it could have been, the way I look at this, with the Queen face, she's facing that way. She was the one that initiated. And this could have been you, Pisces, acknowledging that yes, you agree too that this needs to be done. So it was a mutual agreement is the way I see it. And that in itself tells me again that the divine would definitely reward that. As long as both people agreed, then it's fair. Justice. It's fair. I bet there was a plan. I bet there had been a plan. But this person has decided not to continue the plan. Wow. Isn't it amazing how things turn? Those wheels are always turning, always turning. Oh my gosh, very beautiful. Very beautiful reading. I love it. I do. Sure, there's hurt. Sure, there's sorrow, heart. Sure, there's no communication. Sure, there's a split, but it's all in divine timing. There's a reason for it. There is absolutely a reason for it. And when you can learn to accept the things you cannot change, that's when you become enlightened. Because there's just some things that just seem like they should work just perfect, and then boom, everything turns around, and then it seems like everything's falling apart. There's a reason. There is a reason for it. We don't know that. We don't know what the reason is. Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Potential outcome for each line. Oh, I gotta hurry up. I'm almost out of hour or minutes. The Ace of Cups in reverse, that doesn't surprise me. There was no communications. There was a heart was on the mend. Look at there. The heart is on the mend again. See, it's just supposed to happen. This is the divine. He's not offering the love because it needs to fall apart. In the heart, the Three of Swords, it's meant to happen. It's meant to cause the split. It's meant to happen. Oh my gosh. And as far as somebody wanting to go in a new direction, I would bet it would be your person. And it could be for both of you, but for sure I feel like it's more your person going in a new direction. And it could be this Queen of Cups. And the last card is the King of Swords. King of Swords is very authoritative, and it's somebody that takes control of a situation and makes it work in order. He's a lot like the Emperor in a sense. Very intelligent. He knows what it takes to get things done. And then on the bottom of the deck we have the Nine of Pentacles. This talks about somebody that's single, somebody that is financially secure, not overly so, but enough to share with others if need be. Very loving, very outdoorsy, loves nature. Wow. Wow. Pisces, thank you for watching, and I hope that this gives you inspiration, because it sure does to me. Anyway, I will see you next time. Until then, namaste.